I'm going to reflect an object over the x-axis. First, I'm going to try reflecting it on my own, and then I'm going to test to see if I'm correct. So I'm going to pick an object this time. I'm going to choose to do I'm going to do a quadrilateral that's an unusual one. So I'm going to start at -3, 4. I'm going to put my first dot there. That's point A. I'll put a point at -1, 1. I'll put a point at -7, 1. And I'm going to put a point at -3, 2. It's kind of an unusual shape. I would like to make that into a polygon, so I'm going to click on the polygon choice. It'll be a quadrilateral, 4-sided. I'm going to select point A, follow along and select point B, over to point C, into point D, and then to finish the polygon, I have to go back up to point A. So now I have a quadrilateral. It sort of looks like an arrow or maybe a check mark laying down. I want to reflect that over the x-axis. So I need to make the x-axis my line of reflection. In order to make a line of reflection, I need to start by making a line. So I'm going to click on a new point. I'm going to select point -8, 0, and I'm going to stay on my x-axis and go over and choose point 11, 0. Now I have 2 points, so I can create a line between those 2 points. I'm going to click on line through 2 points, click on letter E, and then when I click on letter F, it will make the x-axis darker to show that's my line that I've created. Notice there's also an arrow at the end to show that it keeps going. Now I want to reflect it over this line of reflection. So I'm going to start with point B. Point B is 1 unit away from my line of reflection. So I'm going to continue on 1 more point and put a new point. That'll be point G because it's the 7th point I've created. I'm going to go to point D. That is 1, 2 away from my line. So I'll continue on 2 more. 1, 2, point H. Point A is right above point D, 2 more spaces, so that's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 away from the line. I'll continue on, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my point, point I. And the last one from my unique quadrilateral is 1 unit away from the line. I'll go 1 more unit. There's the dot. Now I want to connect it to make a polygon again, so I'm back to the polygon. Now I got to remember to connect it in the same order. So I'm starting here with point G, which I believe is the same as where B prime would be. I is where A prime would be, so that's next. Then to H, which I think will be D prime, over to J, which should be C prime, and back to G. Now it looks to me like I'm probably correct. It looks like I have reflected that, like a top of a mountain and then reflected in an ocean. So let me check for sure. I'm going to go up to reflect object about a line, and I'm going to test to see if I have done it correctly. I click on the reflect object about a line. The first step says select the object to reflect, so I click on my quadrilateral. Then select the line of reflection. My line of reflection was the x-axis. I click, and it did flip over. Look, all the points matched up. So here's B prime, A prime, D prime, and C prime. Since I know that all of my points are right on top of the ones I created, I know that I have done it correctly and I have reflected over the x-axis.